Live Scrum Master training with me, your host Sahib. And as you know, we like to do these live streams often as much as we can. We have just started the live stream, so if you see a little bit of a delay in terms of when the action starts, is because we're waiting for all the subs to join us. So just hold on a couple of minutes before we get started. But whilst everyone is joining, you know the rules here. Feel free to say hello. Feel free to give us a wee hello down in the comments. Let us know what you guys are up to, and also let us know what you guys have got planned for your weekend. The more we talk, the more questions that we ask, the more information that we give out on this show. And this show is basically for everyone that's looking to become a better Scrum Master, a better project manager, a better person with a better career going forward. That's the whole purpose of this show. What that means is that if you want to ask any questions, write it down. Write it down in the chat box when it comes to career progression, anything you want to ask, write it in the chat. A coaching session with me is expensive. So now I'm giving you guys the free opportunity to ask me questions right now. Take the advantage right now while you can. I'm live from Dubai, live from sunny Dubai. And we've got people from all over the world that will be tuning in, live on Twitter, live on YouTube, and maybe sometimes we like to go live on LinkedIn, but we don't like to disturb those folk too much. So any questions that you have, feel free to ask us anything that you want. I always notice on Twitter you guys are more active than the other platforms. I don't know why. I think you guys just like to have a little bit of a rumble over there. I don't mind. Everything is welcome from my side. And let us know, how's your weekend going? What are your plans for the weekend? And how was your professional working week? And as you know, we're going to be discussing 6 secrets today. 6 secrets. I know that's going to be a bit surprising for some, but there's 6 secrets to when it comes to Scrum Masters. Some of them might shock you, and some of them might not even shock you, but you have to stay around for that to see what it is. I can see that we've got, I don't know what it is, but you guys on Twitter seem to have a lot more enjoyment than you guys on YouTube. All right, Twitter's already cracking off. First question: how was your day today? It's going very well. Thank you so much. Thank you for caring to ask that question. I always ask you guys, but it's nice to know some of you actually care about me as well. Where do you stay in Dubai? So I stay in a place called Healthcare City, next to, and it's actually a very nice place in Dubai. It's 10 minutes outside of downtown. So if you know where Burj Khalifa is, it's just 10 minutes outside of there. So yeah, it's a cool place. It's a cool place to live. So I'm just waiting to make sure everyone joins before we start the live session. And obviously, guys, any questions, feel free to write them down. We like the questions because it keeps the show good and fresh. Let me just check. Okay, okay. I think we can make a start now. Scrum Master role, the evolution, right? Scrum Mastering has changed phenomenally for the last 20 years. It's not what it used to be. It's actually massively different now, more than anything. It's so different now that the role doesn't look like what it used to be, right? There's a huge difference now. There's actually a massive difference in terms of how you go about applying the role and how you're supposed to be executing, conducting yourself during your professional career. And more people than often actually struggle. I've noticed that a lot of people struggle in this. And I think the reason for this is very simple, is that they take the theory to heart. And because they're taking the theory to heart, essentially they put themselves within a corner. And this corner, they start to eliminate themselves. They expect people to, yeah, this is the way it goes. So this is the way Scrum Mastering is. But actually, you've just you've just eliminated yourself from the game. The last thing you want to do is think that what you're seeing in the theory actually matches in the practical. It doesn't. There's a massive, massive difference between what is going on in the theory and what needs to be happening practically. Two different things, two different worlds. The more you confuse them, the more you think they're intertwined, the bigger your dilemma is going to be. That's the thing. It's as simple as that. And if you agree with me, leave a comment down below. The biggest problem that we have right now is that people just don't seem to pick up and grasp the idea that we're living in a complex working environment. The working environment is very complicated. People are struggling more than ever, and as they're struggling, they're not getting things they're not getting things accomplished, and by that very nature, people are becoming unpredictable. And as we say time and time again, unpredictability is your enemy. It's your biggest enemy that we have here. There are many things that are at play here. The fact of the matter is, guys, there are many things that are causing problems, and we just simply fail to we underestimate it. We really do, because we think the Scrum Master role hasn't evolved. It has evolved. That's the problem. It has massively evolved. So, because of these reasons, people struggle to apply it. It's as simple as that. So, the evolution of the Scrum Master role, it has fundamentally changed. It is fundamentally totally different now than it used to be. And because of these reasons, even if I had a question this morning, which was from a person that was database administrator. Great question. I think the guy's name was Imran. He was a subscriber to the channel. Watched the video and said, I'm a database administrator. I need to change my game. I want to become a Scrum Master. And for me, when I thought about this, I was thinking, damn, he's got a good point here. Like, how would you go about doing this? Like, what's the practical way of doing this? And then the answer was actually very simple. You still need to go on a 2-day training course. You still need to take one-to-one coaching. You still need to be able to learn to apply yourselves, which is what you get in the one-to-one coaching. And then from there, then you go and execute. You get a job, you update your CV, you get a job, you pass the interview, and you start executing. This whole stuff comes later on. Problem is, people think that it's not the it's not the first thing that's happening. That's the crazy thing in all of this stuff. So I don't get how people seem to don't understand that there are two different things here. The application of it is totally different. So when it comes to people upgrading themselves, like this is a person that's a database administrator, they want to change their job into Scrum Master. And guys, we get these questions all the time. I'm a software engineer. I want to change my career and to become a Scrum Master. I want to become a product owner. We get that all the time. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem that we have in this setup is that how do you know how this role works? You just see the technical side. You just see the process. But you don't see how the person holds down the nerve. You don't know how that person handles their stakeholders, handles their directors, the EVPs, the VPs, the heads of the departments, senior managers, leads, team leads, whoever the heck they are. That requires nerve. That requires balls. Big pair of balls, to be honest. And also, what happens when you've got multiple teams at play? It's not a technical game then. It's a coordination game at that point. The game totally changes. So, if you're a software engineer, database administrator, nurse, sales guy, marketing guy, I don't care what you are, you need to You need to change your style. You need to take training. You need to take coaching. This stuff together will give you the tools and techniques that you need to be successful within your role. 9 times out of 10, most of you that make the switch don't even make it through. That's the sad piece in all of this. So it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I completely understand. It is unfortunate. People have a tough time in admitting this, but it this is the game, right? This is the game. Okay, let's jump to another section. So we'll be going through each and every one of these today. And obviously, guys, if you're watching this at home, feel free to leave a comment down below. So let's jump onto the second piece today, if I can find it. So, the certifications. Are they still worth your money? CSM, PSM, and Safe Scrum Master are the ones that are always in contention. These ones I get the most questions on day in, day out. You can go through my YouTube videos. It is the same questions day in, day out. And I'm always wondering, are you guys watching my videos? is the message coming across clearly? Are you guys listening to the message? Time and time again, you can take a CSM, you can take a PSM. It's foundational, but it will not equip you to become a Scrum Master. Right? Just saying. But the SSM, Safe Scrum Master, has more credibility because it has more practical application. That's what's in the course. Check it out if you don't believe me. And when you get trained by a coach that's been there and done that, that just doesn't spit their mouth on random crap, then you know you're in the right place. But if you're talking to someone that really doesn't have a clue, then you're really screwed. Unfortunately, then you really, really are screwed. This is why you really need to understand what the role is of the Scrum Master, how these certifications add value, and how they don't add value. What I'm going to do is, I think there's something lying in the back. Hold on. Let me go off camera for a couple of seconds. No, I thought I had it. I was going to show you guys my prized certification that I carry around. There's 3 of them, but I don't have it with me, unfortunately. I wanted to show you guys how similar they actually look. But the real devil in the detail is when you go in the courses, you see how similar they are and how one of them is varyingly different and practical. But what makes the difference here is that when you get coaching and training from an individual that knows the practical application, that knows the blueprint, the roadmap, how to apply it day in and day out, that knows the ins and the outs and the hows. By doing this, by getting this sort of training, this sort of coaching, training and coaching assisted at the same time, you're really getting wisdom. You're really getting a side of Scrum Mastering which you've never seen before. And this is the edge of becoming a Scrum Master. I know a lot of competitors watch my channel and they try to copy my stuff. I don't really care because it originates from this channel. That is the fact of it. A lot of competitors watch my channel, they try to copy my stuff. It's fine. I am the industry leader in this. I've been doing this longer than most of you. I have more practical application than most people. And it's not about how many projects you've executed. It's not about how big the teams are. It's how flawlessly you executed them. It's how smoothly you executed it. It's how you optimized it. It's how you smoothly did everything. This is the thing. This is the quintessential thing. It's not about how much grit, how much determination, sweat, blood, and tears went into it. It's not about that. No one cares about that. What they care about is how smoothly you did it. When you watch when you watch Roger Federer on Wimbledon and he's swinging the ball, how smooth does he look? It's almost like he's dancing on the court. This is what I bring to the game. Is that flawlessness of how to play this game. And when you understand that, when you can actually applicably apply this to your game, then you are hitting the home runs. Then the thing changes and the game changes. Then you are at the top of the league. This is how you want to do it. But most people are interested to buy cheap training. And because of this, everyone's suffering. Not only are you guys suffering, the teams start to suffer. Why is that? Because you are incapable. Not only are you incapable, you're giving a bad rep for the Scrum Master role. You're giving a bad reputation for agility as a whole, and worstly, the company might be asking the question, what's the point of all this? Why should we bother with this? And I'd actually agree. I would actually tend to agree at this point. Like, why should they bother at this point? And this is the problem. And this is basically the problem that we've got within the industry now. And it's unfortunate because people are just, they don't see it, they don't appreciate it, and unfortunately it is what it is now. This is how it's become. So guys, leave a comment if you have any comments down below. I'll just respond to some of them. Cool. So the certification in many sense has a diminished value. This is what I'm trying to say here, because so many people have taken this now. It just doesn't hold that wow factor. Before, back in the day, you could say, yeah, I've got CSM, I've got PSM. It just doesn't work like that anymore. There's millions of people that have this now. And because of this, it's becoming stronger. It's becoming more difficult and more difficult to break into the game. I know some of you are struggling. Andrew Tate, high value men. If you're sitting in IT, if you're sitting in software engineering, if you're a high value man, it's because you're sitting in the product owner role or the scrum master role or the agile coach role. That's where you're the highest, you're the MVP there at that point. But if you're sitting in the software engineering team, you're considered the lowest of the lowest dump. That's unfortunately the way it's looked upon. And when it comes to upgrading yourself to become the best version, the game is totally different. It really is a different game. So back in those days, you could take a cert and get something good. Get something semi-decent that will help you improve your chances of landing a better job, changing your career, and giving that family life that, the thing that your family always wanted. But now what it is, it's just a totally different thing. And because of this, we're all suffering. We are really badly suffering, and at the same time, nobody really knows, what to do. Nobody really knows what to do. And my solution is, from a very long time, is to actually take training. It's just to take training and coaching, but do it simultaneously. So when you walk away from the training courses, you know exactly what to do. You know exactly how to apply it. That way, it strengthens you. It's giving you more tools. It's giving more for your repertoire. You're the winner at the end of the day, but you still go for cheap training. Why? Write in the comments why. Are you really money strapped, or are you just wasting that money somewhere else where you shouldn't be wasting? Unfortunately, people say to me, salesman, sales technique, and all that. I think I'm just revealing the reality of what's happening here. And that's the sad thing, that most of you find it difficult to comprehend the reality. So it is what it is. And unfortunately, most of you have to come to terms with this in your own time. So That's my best advice I can give there. There is a diminished value. There is a diminished value of the certifications. This is why I have set it to channel it in this way. And by you channeling it this way, it will help you become a better person. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. Now, the third thing, guys, the ease of knowledge. Now, go on my channel. How many videos are there? There's hundreds, right? Go on, just do a search on YouTube for Scrum Master training. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of videos. The increased amount of free knowledge in this area is huge. And because it's so huge, I think it's further overcomplicated and oversimplified the topic at the same time. Because you've got so many perspectives that are coming in, different scrum masters, different coaches, different instructors are giving their own perspectives. I think most of them are actually incapable and actually unqualified to actually give some of the things. Some of them haven't even practiced an inch of scrum mastering in their life. They liked the PSM, they liked the CM, they became instructors on it, and they started dishing it out. But when it comes to the real deal, they can't do anything. Unfortunately, this is a large percentage of trainers. This is why when you meet someone who knows their game, that's doing their game inside out, who's practicing, who's an actual consultant at the end of the day, a coach in the space, there's a massive difference in terms of the training and when you ask questions and how you get those answers for those questions. There's a huge difference in that. So, huge piece of information that the internet's free, it's open, everyone's got access to it, and everyone can search for information. Now, let's just get off YouTube for a minute. Think about TikTok, think about Instagram, think about Twitter, think about just Google results. There's tons. Information is everlasting. How many blogs are there on Scrum Mastering? How many companies are there selling Scrum Master training? It's huge. It is massive. It is so much now. I think it's probably one of the most difficult industries now to compete in. You really need to have an edge in the market. If you don't have an edge in the market, you're really not going to survive. And guys, people's attention span is reduced. And not only has it reduced, it's actually reduced by a massive margin. And I think people are suffering more than ever. People have suffered in this regards because it's more difficult for you guys to maintain your focus and listen to the message of one thing. It's actually very difficult for you guys. And I've noticed this more times than not. And I'm always asking the question, why is that the case? Well, your attention span is 5-6 seconds now, maybe 4, maybe 3 for some of you. Do you think you'll make a good Scrum Master of that kind of attention span? No. So we're failing in this other regard. So many problems, many different issues. It's difficult, guys. It's actually very difficult. And with this ease of knowledge and the people that are writing those blog posts, I'm always questioning, are they having a go at agility? Are they having a go at Scrum? Or are they actually a true supporter behind the cause? Because more times than not, they've got their own agenda that's playing in here. And I think these separate agendas have caused a lot of problems. Guys, now I don't like to bash certain methodologies or frameworks. I think it's the wrong thing to do. Each framework, each methodology has its own positives, right? Its own benefits, its own advantages. What it really comes down to is you, the consultant, the coach, the practitioner. You need to apply it in a practitioner way. If you apply it in the right way, you'll win. It's very simple. There's nothing hard about that. Then you'll win. But if you apply it the wrong way, then you're really going to struggle. Then the truth of the matter is, then you're really going to struggle. But it is what it is, and unfortunately, more people are applying these things in the wrongest way possible. And I'm always asking the question, why don't you make things easier for yourselves? Right, this is the typical scenario. Someone doesn't know about a topic. What they do, go on YouTube, read up a couple of things. They go on Google, read up a couple of things, watch a couple of videos, listen to a few podcasts, and later on they're an expert. This seems to be the trend. And then when it comes to push comes to shove, they don't know anything. When they're faced against a real expert, they're run down. Why don't you just learn it properly in the first place? Why not, rather than taking the shortcuts, why don't you apply practical, thorough knowledge building and a practical application? It's going to help you at the end of the day. It's not going to help me. It's going to help you guys at the end of the day. Right? Now, this is going to tie into another topic, which is why do people take certifications in the first place? Now, guys, let me tell you a story. Now, back in the day, I was struggling as well early on in my career. I mean, I was a software engineer. Struggled, massively struggled. No one really gave me an opportunity. No one really took my advice. It was actually quite sad because not only were people just being mean all the time, you were looked down upon. And because you were looked down upon, your opinion wasn't valued. And because your opinion was not valued, you essentially were a nobody. I'll tell you one thing, it's probably the most hardest feelings to acknowledge. One day I was sitting there on my computer writing some software on a project. It was a key project of mine. And I saw my lead developer, manager, Scrum Master, product owner, CTO walk into the room, and a couple of other dead developers. But I was not invited. So I sat there looking outside, looking at them, saying, why am I not invited? So about half an hour later, they come out. My product owner walks over to me and says, do this and do that. At that point, I knew I wanted to change my life forever. And that's when I went on a massive spree on upgrading myself by taking different certifications to become the best version of myself that I could. And that's the true story of it. And that's a part of my life that you guys should be aware of. And so I used certifications as a means to career progression. So that is true. That is true. There's nothing, I can't hide that. But is it still the same case? Unfortunately, no. You can't do the same. Maybe 5-6 years ago, yes, you could do that. Now it's more difficult because everyone is doing it. And because the prices have dropped so dramatically, it's become widely accessible to the market, and it's no longer reserved for the top echelon of professionals. Because back in the day, a CSM certificate was about £2,000, $2,500 back in the day. And then it dropped to around about 1,800, 1,500, 1,200, 1,000. Pandemic hit, boom, 600, 700, 500, 400. And now you've got certain continents that are offering it for $100, $200. So this is the sad state of affairs that we live in, that something that used to be distinguished, something that used to be so unique, now is being bastardized. It doesn't hold its value as it should have done, which is a shame, which is very much a shame. So can these certifications hold as a means to career progression? Unfortunately, the answer is no here. They don't. They just simply don't. They don't even cut up to it. Now, moving on to, so we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to move on to the fifth one now. Practical on-the-job training. We've said earlier on there, your perspective of Scrum Master needs to be molded. And the instructor and the coach that's giving you that perspective needs to be aware that you have that perspective, first of all. And secondly, that person needs to know that thought process needs to be molded as well. And when you apply this so you need to carve this beautiful statue, so the statue can be rock solid before it goes out into the world of work. More times than not, this actually fails. This actually fails, and we struggle to apply the simplest techniques, and because of this, we are struggling again. And because we're struggling, no one is winning. No one is, we're back to the same situation, right? We're back to the same situation that we have a gap, and the gap is actually quite big. Not only is the gap quite big here, um, you need to fill this gap. You need to fill this gap, and if you're unable to fill this gap, what actually happens here is that you are you could inadvertently drop yourself into a worse position. How does that happen? Because the people don't believe what you're teaching, what you're coaching, what you're practicing. You lose respect, you lose credibility, you lose the stakeholder buy-in, you lose all of it just like that. And because you've lost it, now you're sitting in a position where it's like, oh God, should have took that coaching when I had the chance. But there's a bigger problem. In 1 year's time, you'll be asking for a pay rise. Not only are you going to be asking for a pay rise, you're going to be asking for a promotion. So this has a domino effect. Your performance has a massive, massive impact. And your performance is usually determined within the first couple of months. Is this guy good or is this guy crap? And unfortunately, more times than not, you're actually shown your true colors within the first couple of weeks. And the manager knows if this guy he's made a mistake here or he hasn't made a mistake. And unfortunately, this is the reality of Scrum Mastering here. That you reveal your true colors too early on, and therefore it's too late. You won't be able to get that upgrade. You won't be able to get that lifestyle, that career that you wanted. You won't be able to get that nice glass cubicle office at the corner of the room because you failed to actually adapt yourself to the difficulties of the job. You should have took one-to-one coaching when you had the chance. You wouldn't believe how many people have admitted that to me in my private coaching calls. It's stunning. And the last topic, inflation. Guys, as inflation is going up, we are in a recession. We're in a terrible recession. We are. Even if you like to admit it or not. I know some people have a difficulty admitting this, but the recession, the inflation, also the money printing means that the same courses now, yes, they've gone cheaper, but it also means that the quality has dropped massively, unfortunately. There's been a massive drop in quality. What can we do here? $1,000 for people now is a lot of money. They don't have this money easily lying around. It's not that easily attainable. And secondly, people are struggling to put two pennies together more than ever than not. What my recommendation here is that you really need to decide what you want in your career going forward. Is it a Scrum Master role that you're looking for, or is it something else? If it's a Scrum Master role, then take the training courses with me and go for the one-to-one coaching. It'll be a complete system for you to go through, whereby you know when you're going to walk out, you are the complete package. But if you don't do this, you're only delaying the inevitable. That not only are you going to drop down, everyone else is doing it. I get coaching calls every day, get bookings every day. The problem is that you will be suffering at the end of the day. You will be the one that doesn't win. And because of this, you will let yourself down. So the conclusion here is Take it early rather than take it later so that you're well equipped before you take the job. So, guys, that's the 6 secrets of the Scrum Master world, of our Scrum Master training that they don't want you to know. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this live stream. It's always great to live stream for you guys. And until next time, thank you